start the answer.
This is one omnibus vote for all the Greenway Conservancy measures that Scott reviewed. First, thank you so much. Second?
I'll second that.
Terrific, thank you so much. All in favor of the Greenway Conservancy, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Terrific. Unanimous. Committees Council. Section B.
Okay, I'm calling the Hudson River Valley Greenway Communities Council meeting to order, and I'll turn it over to Scott.
All right, it's a somewhat abbreviated agenda for the council. We have grants to give under both compact and council planning grants. The town of East Fishkill in Dutchess County is seeking grant funding in the amount of $25,000 for a comprehensive plan. The grants committee recommends $25,000. Supervisor Nicholas D'Alessandro is here. If you care to, oh, you've got the mic already. Good job.
Got it already. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is working, but congratulations again, Mr. Keller. And thank you very much. We're very happy to be here. I'm Nick D'Alessandro, Supervisor East Fishkill, here with my Economic Development Director, Patrick Manning. And East Fishkill understands that the Greenway preserves and protects our cultural, historic, iconic resources that we have in the Hudson River Valley, and that's exactly what we want to do in East Fishkill with our sustainable, comprehensive master plan. We want to make sure that our economy incorporates our agricultural, industrial, manufacturing hub that we have in southern Dutchess County. We want to make sure that we preserve and protect also a few working farms that we have in our community, and also make sure that our local businesses continue to be engaged and thrive in the future for our residents and community. So we're very thankful for this award, and I can't be happier to be here, so thank you.
Thank you. Next application or recommended grant is for the Village of Irvington in Westchester County. They're seeking grant funding in the amount of $25,000 for a River Towns feasibility study of the curbside collection of food scraps. This study will involve 7 different communities in Westchester County, all of whom sent in a resolution of support for this grant. The Grants Committee recommends $25,000. And Larry Shopford, the village administrator, is here.
Good morning. Yes, Larry Shopford, village administrator from the village of Irvington, and I'm here representing the communities of Ardsley, Dobbsbury, Elmsford, Hastings-on-Hudson, Irvington, Sleepy Hollow, and Tarrytown. Our communities have been collaborating for well over 20 years on a formal way in the interests of our communities. And so when the mayors decided that they wanted to collect food scraps on a curbside basis, they quickly realized that it would be best to collaborate rather than try to do this individually. That's a little bit complicated. We don't really know how to actually coordinate that amongst 7 communities, so this planning grant will go a long way towards figuring that out for all of us. So thank you to all of those involved in recommending this grant.
Thank you. Moving on to the community planning grants, the town of Easton in Washington County is seeking grant funding in the amount of $8,500 for the study and implementation of a green energy law. The Grants Committee recommends $8,500. The town of Gallatin, Columbia County is seeking grant funding in the amount of $10,000 for a 2024 zoning law update, and the Grants Committee recommends fully funding that at $10,000. And the town of Greenway, Washington County is seeking grant funding in the amount of $15,000 for a town and village of Greenwich zoning update. The Grants Committee recommends $15,000 with the specification that neither Department of State funds nor any other state funds are allowable as match for the Greenway grant. Town Supervisor Jim Nolan sent the following statement. The town and village of Greenwich will use the $15,000 grant to expand their zoning updates project to include critical components identified in the 2023 Joint Comprehensive Plan. The project will incorporate the latest best practices in multi-use zoning, housing, density allowances, district overlays, and agricultural protection that are essential to guiding development in rural communities in the 21st century. Sarah do you have anything to add as former supervisor?
I would love to add something. I grew up in Greenwich, and I was a supervisor for 10 years, and quite active in village and town activities. Pam, our mayor, and Jim Nolan, our supervisor, have worked very, very closely to really examine how we can make sure that that area in southern Washington County, which is a farming area, gets preserved and maintains its historical atmosphere. I think lots of times we forget that Hudson River goes north of Albany, and there's a lot going on along the Hudson River in that area. But just one more thing. One of the things that we've noticed is since COVID, our little villages in southern Washington County have expanded tremendously. The housing market is very scarce. You can hardly buy a home in that area because people have moved in. Want to come back to the little villages, and we have a lot of students. I've taught at the school for 25 years. I have a lot of former students who've come back to live there. And recent kids, they've come back from a lot of the cities in the Northeast, and it's really growing. And we need to make sure that we hang on to our historical heritage. There's a lot of wonderful history in that area, and of course we're right near Saratoga and the Revolution, and there's a lot going on. But anyway, thank you for a chance to speak to this issue, and thank you very much for your generosity.
It's your generosity. You're on the board. Any questions on any of these grant applications that are proposed for the council? Maybe we need a vote.
Okay, is there a motion for awarding the compact and community planning grants?
So moved.
Go ahead. Second, okay. Angela and Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, it's passed. Thank you. Okay, so we'll call to order the Maurice D. Hinchin, that's our Valley National Heritage Area meeting, and Scott has a very important announcement letter to do.
Yes, I do. And I only wish we could share it here. The Alliance of National Heritage Areas is putting together a booklet of cocktails that are representative of each participating heritage area. A small sample of the draft publication is in your packet. Our submission is called Corridor of Commerce Cider, with a nod to Wint, and it is located on page 24 of that piece of the publication. It is a rich concoction of Hudson Valley products, including apple cider, Hudson Valley bourbon, maple syrup, and a little non-locally sourced lemon juice to balance the sweetness. Many thanks to Dan Jensen, who took the lead on coming up with this recipe and perhaps did some testing as well. So the recipe's in your packet. I urge you all to try it. Last item here is the appropriation update. The final appropriations bill has been released by the House and Senate Appropriations Committees. This will likely be voted on this Friday. Funding for the Heritage Partnership Program is $29.232 million. The Heritage Partnership Program is where the National Heritage Area funding lives. This is level funding from fiscal year 23, and language in the bill directs the National Park Service to disperse the funding such that no heritage area receives less than in fiscal year 2023. So if this passes, and I'm not betting farm, we will have 500,000 as we have in the past. We have nothing to vote on. Okay, if I just segue tonight. All right. It's going to be a really brief executive director's report. Please let us close, as is tradition, by thanking our staff for the tremendous work that they do each and every day. You guys, I'm out.
Mic drop.
I'm retiring, I can't afford to.
All right. Okay, so I just wanted to, under new business, I wanted to give you an update on our search for the new executive director, since there's such a hard act to follow here. So the full executive team on the council and the Conservancy are involved in this effort. So besides Kevin and me, that includes the Greenway Council Vice Chair, Wayne Aldrich, and Greenway Conservancy Vice Chair, Betsy Jacks, as well as Conservancy Secretary Sarah Olson, and Conservancy Treasurer Jane McLaughlin. So to get us started, we sought the advice of Angela Henry, who is the Dutchess County representative on the Greenway Council, who, among her many talents, is an experienced recruiter for executives for nonprofit organizations. And she helped us establish best practices for our research. To really keep our confidential effort independent, Scott has not been involved at all in our hiring process. We did, however, solicit feedback from our wonderful Greenway staff, Beth, Dan, Shannon, and Cody, and on a number of items, and that included what attributes they'd like to see in the next director, and we really appreciated all of their responses. We advertised on a number of platforms and had a diverse cross-section of 56 applicants, actually 57, another one came in the last week, from 3 different countries in the United States. That included 10 states plus someone from the District of Columbia. And of those applicants, we conducted interviews with 15 applicants. We soon will be narrowing that group down to a few finalists for a final interview to help us determine who we'd like to recommend to this group to hire. So we hope very shortly to have a new executive director. And since we won't want to wait until June for our meeting then to offer a candidate for approval, we will likely call a meeting, which most people can attend by Zoom, to schedule a vote. So please look for that notice to come. And then once we have a new executive director, we want to develop a strategic plan that will help us set a roadmap for the next 5 to 10 years to really build on the fine work that has been done by Scott and the staff and our boards, both past and present, and really over the life of this enterprise. It's an important transition time, and we really need to think it through well. So we want all of you involved in that process to help us determine priorities and ways to reach the community, to let even more people know about the Greenway and the National Heritage Area and what they can offer. So if anyone has any questions about this process, just please feel free to contact Kevin or me. Thank you. And I just want to note the upcoming board meetings. So we have June 12th, October 9th, and December 11th. And also before we adjourn, I want to let you know that we have cake outside, and so I hope that you will all come and help celebrate our wonderful Scott as part of that process. Anything else?
For me.
Okay. All right, so do I have anything else from anyone else at any business? No? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Bob, and a second. Who's second? Oh, okay, Wayne second, all right. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's go eat cake. Thank you.